No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. I ask to see a different world and think a different kind of thought. Think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I seek I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. Today I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Hello, I'm Willie from the Ozarks and ready for lesson 131 in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. We're reading from the original edition here on Thursday, May the 11th of 2023. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. You look for permanence in the impermanent, for love where there is none, for safety in the midst of danger, immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. Who could succeed where contradiction is the setting his searching? Who could succeed where contradictions is the setting of his searching and the place to which he comes to find stability? Goals which are meaningless are not attained. There is no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. Who can use such senseless means and hope through them to gain in anything? Where can they lead? And what could they achieve that offers any hope of being real? Pursuit of the imagined leads to death because it is the search for nothingness. And while you seek for life, you ask for death. You look for safety and security while in your heart you pray for danger and protection for the little dream you made. Remember, your prayers are your feelings. And if you're trying to protect something, well, then you esteem it as valuable, and your prayer is that you protect it. But if you're seeing what's unreal as real, well, then you're causing yourself a lot of pain. So we want to reach the truth. Yet searching is inevitable here. For this you came, and you will surely do the thing you came for. But the world cannot dictate the goal for which you search unless you give it power to do so. Otherwise, you still are free to choose a goal that lies beyond the world and every worldly thought, and one which comes to you from an idea relinquished yet remembered, old yet new, an echo of a heritage forgot, yet holding everything you really want. Be glad that search you must. Be glad as well to learn you search for heaven and must find the goal you really want. No one can fail to want this goal and reach it in the end. God's Son cannot seek vainly, though he try to force delay, deceive himself, and think that it is hell he seeks. When he is wrong, he finds correction. When he wanders off, he is led back to his appointed task. No one remains in hell, for no one can abandon his Creator nor affect his perfect, timeless, and unchanging love. You will find heaven. Everything you seek but this will fall away, yet not because it has been taken from you. It will go because you do not want it. You will reach the goal you really want as certainly as God created you sinless. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Time is the great illusion. It is past or in the future. Yet this cannot be, if it is where God wills his Son to be. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? What he wills is now. Wow, I didn't catch that. What God wills is now, without a past and wholly futureless. And he wills for heaven, for his dear Son, his innocent Son. It is as far removed from time as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you choose from what you really want. Look at that again. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Time is the great illusion. It is past or in the future. Yet this cannot be, if it is where God wills his Son to be. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? What he wills is now, without a past and wholly futureless. It is as far removed from time as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you choose from what you really want. Heaven remains your one alternative to this strange world you made and all its ways, its shifting patterns and uncertain goals, its painful pleasures and its tragic joys. God made no contradictions. What denies its own existence and attacks itself is not of him. He did not make two minds, with heaven as the glad effect of one, and the earth the other sorry outcome that is heaven's opposite in every way. God does not suffer conflict, nor is his creation split in two. How could it be his Son could be in hell when God himself established him in heaven? Only in your mind can you be in a place that's not filled with love and happiness, heaven. But you can change your mind. You get the power of choice. Could he lose what the eternal will has given him to be his home forever? You can't. Let us not try longer to impose an alien will upon God's single purpose. He is here because he wills to be, and what he wills is present now beyond the reach of time. Today we will not choose a paradox in place of truth. How could the Son of God make time to take away the will of God? He thus denies himself and contradicts what has no opposite. He thinks he made a hell opposing heaven and believes that he abides in what does not exist, while heaven is the place he cannot find. Leave foolish thoughts like these behind today and turn your mind to true ideas instead. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth, and it is truth we ask to reach today. We will devote 10 minutes to this goal 3 times today, and we will ask to see the rising of the real world, to replace the foolish images that we held dear, with true ideas arising in the place of thoughts which have no meaning, no effects, and neither source nor substance in the truth. This we acknowledge as we start upon our practice periods. Begin with this. So for 3 times today, each to take 10 minutes, and we'll start with this. I ask to see a different world and think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I seek I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. For several minutes, watch your mind and see, although your eyes are closed, the senseless world you think is real. Review the thoughts as well which are compatible with such a world and which you think are true. Then let them go and sink below them to the holy place where they can enter not. There is a door beneath them in your mind which you could not completely lock to hide what lies beyond. Seek for that door and find it. But before you try to open it, remind yourself no one can fail who asks to reach the truth. And it is this request you make today. Nothing but this has any meaning now. No other goal is valued now nor sought. Nothing before this door you really want. And only what lies past it do you seek. Put out your hand and see how easily the door swings open with your one intent, to go beyond it. Angels light the way, so that all darkness vanishes, and you are standing in a light so bright and clear that you can understand all things you see. A tiny moment of surprise, perhaps, will make you pause before you realize the world you see before you in the light reflects the truth you knew and did not quite forget in wandering away in dreams. You cannot fail today. There walks with you the Spirit heaven sent you, that you might approach this door someday, and through His aid, slip effortlessly past it to the light. Today that day has come. Today God keeps His ancient promise to His soul holy Son, as does His Son remember His to Him. This is a day of gladness, for we come to the appointed time and place where you will find the goal of all your searching here, and all the seeking of the world, which ends together as you pass beyond the door. Remember often that today should be a time of special gladness, and refrain from dismal thoughts and meaningless laments. Today should be a time of special gladness, and refrain from dismal thoughts and meaningless laments. Salvation's time has come. Today is set by heaven itself to be a time of grace for you and for the world. And if you forget this happy fact, remind yourself with this: today I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. So check in with yourself throughout the day and be sure that you're glad and happy for this day. Today I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. And when you do your meditation, be sure to start with an appreciation for the day, and then tell yourself, I seek but what belongs to, or I ask to seek a different world and think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I seek I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. And after you've reviewed your thoughts, then sink below them to that door that opens into a new world that angels light the way. Very bright and lit up. Where you understand everything because you're in tune with your oneness, with the Christ, with yourself. Let's find that door today and be thankful that you can find the trap door to this world and get into heaven. That holy instant. Okay, let's go look in our text reading. And we're ready for in chapter 14, bringing illusions to truth, the recognition of holiness. The recognition of holiness. And while you're turning there to section 5 in chapter 14, let me tell you about one of those Muscadine grapes that we used, that they mentioned that you needed to have another cultivar with the Sugargate Black Muscadine, and the ones they recommended were Carlos, Isons, and Delicious. And there's other Muscadines, but that's 3 that they sell and recommended, edible landscaping. The Isons Muscadine native grape. Isons is an early ripening Muscadine grape, ripens early at the nursery with no insects or disease spraying. That'd be worthwhile. Large black sweet fruits with tart skin. Very, very disease resistant. Very, very disease resistant. Self-fertile. Now it says it's self-fertile. Native, space 4 to 8 foot trellis that are 6 foot tall. And this one's zone 7 through 9. So you'd have to be in a pretty protected place, and you'd probably want to mulch with straw or wood chips in the winter. But I think it probably would do okay in a protected place. But it's about the only choice you got if you have to have another variety to go with the Sugargate. So I'd probably try the Isons, and I think I've had some Isons growing here before. I don't currently. That probably shows they don't do well. Might have to be fiddling with them. Or maybe some other variety. I think I heard of one called a Janet or Janice that might be a Zone 6 one. Anyway, we'll look more into that. Okay, and what's going on around the world today on Thursday, May 11th? Eat What You Want Day. That's for people that have been, really doing your dieting, and now you just have a day of just eat what you want day. National Children Mental Health Day, National Foam Rolling Day, myofascial release. That's using a piece of round foam and rolling your legs on it and getting the fascia to move and to kind of probably move out the lymph and whatnot. But anyway, National Foam Rolling Day, National Twilight Zone Day, which was created, written, and directed, the television program Twilight Zone by Rod Sterling. World Ego Awareness Day. It said, I found this in there, it said danger of an inflated ego. It's a day to celebrate the danger of an inflated ego. Of course, from the Course in Miracles perspective, any ego guidance is not what we want. We want to follow the Holy Spirit that only has joy. Remember, the ego's one proviso is seek love, but do not find it. And the Holy Spirit says, love is all there is. Okay, let's go take a look now in our text reading in chapter 4, section 5, the recognition of holiness. The atonement does not make holy. You were created holy. It merely brings unholiness to holiness, and what you made to what you are. The bringing together of truth and illusion of the ego to God is the Holy Spirit's only function. Keep not your making from your Father, for hiding it has cost you knowledge of Him and of yourselves. The knowledge is safe, but herein is your safety apart from it. The making of time to take the place of timelessness lay in the decision to be not as you were. Thus truth was made past, and the present was dedicated to illusion. And the past too was changed and interposed between what always was and now. The past which you remember never was, and represents only the denial of what always was. 39. Bringing the ego to God is but to bring error to truth. Talking about the ego, he says right here, bringing the ego to God is but to bring error to truth, where it stands corrected because it is the opposite of what it meets and is undone, because the contradiction can no longer stand. That's why we want to walk in the light. Let everything be open to us to come to us. Because the Holy Spirit will make sure that the truth is true and that we see it. But we got to do our part, which is not to dissociate. How long can contradiction stand when its impossible nature is clearly revealed? What disappears in light is not attacked. It merely vanishes because it is not true. Different realities are meaningless, for reality must be one. It cannot change with time or mood or chance. Its changelessness is what makes it real. This cannot be undone. Undoing is for unreality, and this reality will do for you. And I think that a lot of times when we see those near-death experiences, that's what we're seeing. People immediately get, hurled out of their comfort zone, their body identification mentality, and they find themselves in more for a moment their true identity, until they begin to even bring their thoughts into that and begin to shape it, which I think in the astral plane, the next level right beyond the physical, you whatever you think happens. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why a lot of people become physical, so that it takes a little longer between what you think to happen and what to happen, because it's kind of scary. You think someone's going to get you, and all of a sudden there's someone to get you. But that's using your mind in a way that's not in harmony with truth, because you believe you're vulnerable. We're learning that we're not vulnerable, and that the love of God is all there is. And in one of these near-death experiences, on the other side, NDE, there's a guy named Tyler Deal, and it says of him, the title is "Man Dies and is Shown Our True Connection to Nature." And he found himself floating up above his body after he had a bicycle wreck, and he hears the trees ringing. Remember the book I told you about, The Ringing Cedars? Well, he heard the trees singing. I think they were redwoods. And some fairies came to kind of encourage him. And good story anyway. I'll put the link in the recording. Uh, Paragraph 40. Merely by being what it is does truth release you from everything that is not. The atonement is so gentle you need but whisper to it, and all its power will rush to your assistance and support. You are not frail with God beside you, yet without Him you are nothing. The atonement offers you God. The gift which you refused is held by Him in you. His Spirit holds it there for you. God has not left His altar, though His worshipper placed other gods upon it. The temple still is holy, for the presence that dwells within it is holiness. In the temple, holiness waits quietly for the return of them that love it. The presence knows they will return to purity and to grace. The graciousness of God will take them gently in and cover all their sense of pain and loss with the immortal assurance of their Father's love. Their fear of death will be replaced with joy of living. For God is life, and they abide in life. Life is as holy as the holiness by which it was created. The presence of holiness lives in everything that lives, and holiness created life and leaves not what it created holy as itself. In this world you can become a spotless mirror in which the holiness of your Creator shines forth from you to all around you. Let's remember that. In this world, you can become perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. In this world, you can become a spotless mirror in which the holiness of your Creator shines forth from you to all around you. You can reflect heaven here. Yet no reflections of the images of other gods must dim the mirror that would hold God's reflection in it. Earth can reflect heaven or hell, God or the ego. You need but leave the mirror clean and clear of all the images of hidden darkness you have drawn upon it. God will shine upon it of Himself. Only the clear reflections of Himself can be perceived upon it. Reflections are seen in light. In darkness they are obscure, and their meaning seems to lie only in shifting interpretations rather than in themselves. 43. The reflection of God needs no interpretation. It is clear. Clean but the mirror, and the message which shines forth from what the mirror holds out for everyone to see, no one can fail to understand. It is the message that the Holy Spirit is holding in the mirror that is in Him. He recognizes it because He has been taught His need for it, but knows not where to look to find it. Let Him then see it in you and share it with you. 44. Could you but realize for a single instant the power of healing that the reflection of God shining in you can bring to all the world, you could not wait to make the mirror of your mind clean to receive the image of the holiness that heals the world. The image of holiness which shines in your mind is not obscure and will not change. Its meaning to those who look upon it is not obscure, for everyone perceives it as the same. All bring their different problems to its healing light, but all their problems are met only with healing there. And the last paragraph, 45. The response of holiness to any form of error is always the same. There is no contradiction in what holiness calls forth. Its one response is healing, without regard for what is brought to it. Those who have learned to offer only healing because of the reflection of holiness in them are ready at last for heaven. Their holiness is not a reflection, but rather the actual condition of what was but reflected to them here. God is no image, and His creations as part of Him hold Him in them in truth. They do not merely reflect truth, for they are truth. Wow. So in this world, you might have to start off by reflecting what you see, which is good, God, love. But eventually you realize that is what you are, not just a reflection. It's your true identity. Let me listen to this little song here a minute, make sure we get it right. No one can fail who who asks to reach the truth. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Foundation for Inner Peace's version is Seek the Truth. Original edition is Ask to reach the truth. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. I ask to see a different world and think a different kind of thought. Think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I seek I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Today I seek and find all that I want. Today I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. I ask to see a different world and think a different kind of thought. Think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I seek I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. Today I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who asks to see the truth. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth.